Hi there, serial trader here. Let's check in with crude oil. And again, I've been forced to change my mind, at least short term. I was considering that we had a major top here, and that we had an initial leg down, and then we were going to have a partial retracement up, and then continue down. And that's just not what happened. And in fact, we just ripped relentlessly higher. Very, very surprising. I haven't seen this kind of one-sided strength in quite some time. And I was thinking, well, how can I possibly label this? Is it possible that I'm missing something here, and that we actually have a 1 up, 2 down, 3 up, 4 down? Because this is what I was originally considering, but then we had that overlap, and then we'd have a final 5th wave up. And it just looks so good, other than the overlap. I thought, am I missing something? And well, I said, what about on a closing basis? Let's try the line chart. Okay, and let me just hide that moving average for a second, just so it's out of the way. And look at this. So we have a 1 up, 2 down, 3 up, 4 down. We did not overlap with 1 on a closing basis. Okay, so that's certainly acceptable. And now we're obviously making new highs in this 5th. So I'll go back to the bar chart. So the count works, because on a closing basis, we don't overlap. That's acceptable. Perhaps I should be more diligent about checking that in the future, because I've certainly seen that on stocks where, oh, you got overlap. How is my count wrong? It just looks, everything looks good except that overlap. Well, the closing basis, if you don't overlap on a closing basis, that's acceptable. So one little nuance to keep in mind for future analysis. But that being said, so we got our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of a larger 5, of a larger C, of a larger 4. So potentially we're nearing a major top once again. I know I sound like a broken record here. And really, the only thing that's going to truly convince me that there's a significant top, because you can keep trying to call a top or a bottom, and it can just keep trending against your call. We need a 5-wave decline, and we need to break below, definitely this support level, but maybe even better if this support level. And then we need a clear corrective 3-wave move up, and then another decline, and then now we can finally embrace that we have a peak. But we're not there yet. But I think we're getting close to finding a pivot here. And so that's the daily chart. So bullish short term, but still looking for a top. And as far as my trades on it, so I had a short, I think it was 69 and change here. And I believe this was on Sunday. The markets opened electronically, the futures markets. And it came down a bit. And okay, I was thinking good. And I just adjusted my stop that evening to above break even. And then, oh, great, we're going to ride this down. And then obviously came right up. Took my stop out, filled, small profit, and then this thing just kept ripping higher and higher and higher. And I figured, well, let's just sit back and let it find its top. Everything was very overbought, still is actually, so I didn't want to be chasing it to the upside. Overbought on the 1 hour and 4 hour. We'll get to the other chart to examine that, but so no damage done. Fortunately, there was that slight dip for me to escape unharmed, and obviously that's why you use stops and manage your risk, so there's no bad endings to your story. So off this 4, looks like this 5th is getting quite mature. And within the 5th, you can, this is on the hourly chart, by the way. So starting here, we got a 1 up, 2 down, and 3 up, 4 down, and now 5. And here, let me just get the degree right. That's minuet. This should be sub-minuet. Okay. So that's what we're working here. So looking very mature. in this pattern. And actually, no, we'll put it there. Maybe a slightly higher high there. So we got 5 up, within 5, within 5. And again, we could certainly still subdivide more. I mean, wave 5 here. But even that looks like you got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, within 5, within 5, within 5. So getting very extended as far as this wave sequence goes to the upside. And certainly very extended, well, I'll show you in the other chart, but definitely reasons to believe, at the minimum, okay, we'll have a healthy pullback and possibly a major pivot and then a change in direction here. But let it prove itself before you do anything about that from a trading perspective. So we'll go to the Thinkorswim candlestick charts here. And okay, daily candlestick wise, so 3 T lines above the T line, obviously broke above that high, still above the 3 T line. So again, oscillator is very overbought, so we're getting close to a peak. I'm quite confident about that. But let it start rolling over before you take a stab at trying to short it. That's for sure. I'm still just in the watching stage here. And just on that weekly candlestick chart. So we had that weekly bullish engulfing last week. Well, certainly significant follow through on that this week. So I just thought I'd point that out. Again, just those candlestick signals can't be ignored. And even here, the bearish engulfing prior to that, you had 1, 2, 3 down weeks. So that, fulfilled the minimum expectation of an engulfing candle. And by that measure, maybe we'll have another 2 weeks of upside here, although I have trouble believing that just at how extended we are. And I'll show you the other chart, show you what I'm getting at. Okay, so let's go to the 4 hour to start with. So the 4 hour price chart, and I mean, look at the RSI here, overbought, and actually it's just remained overbought through a lot of this strong move. So a very powerful move up, maybe even indicative of kind of a blow off top. Sometimes the candle burns brightest right before it blows out. That kind of applies here to these final moves, sometimes in fifth waves, but we'll see. So RSI 4 hour, very overbought. Okay, so that's a warning sign that at the minimum we should have a good pullback soon. And 1 hour RSI also actually diverging now, so it got more extremely overbought here, and now even though we've made higher highs in price, so now we have a bearish divergence in RSI, bearish divergence in stochastic, bearish divergence in MACD on the hourly. So really screaming some warning signs that the upside is near completion or already complete. We'll see. And then I'll go back to that. Then on the daily, again, I'll point out again, still here, even though we made a new high in price, we have our divergences on the daily chart. So again, RSI was higher here than it is here, despite price being higher. Same with stochastic, same with MACD. So still getting divergences with higher highs. That's still indicative of a potential topping process. And on the weekly, again, on the weekly, we're still also seeing those divergences. So price is making new highs, but again, RSI peaked here, lower high, even though price is making higher high, higher high. Same with stochastic, same with MACD. So bearish divergence on multiple time frames. Very mature looking wave sequence, almost a blow off top, fifth wave by the looks of it. But again, don't call the top, let it call itself. So I'll leave that there for now. Hopefully that was a decent update on crude. And again, definitely caught me by surprise, the strength of this up move. But we'll see how it develops from here. All right, Serial Trader signing off.